Montesquieu's Spirit of Laws, 1748, he essentially revives this Aristotelian idea that the best governments have this mix of monarchy and aristocracy and popular government. But he also says that essentially governments are not given to us by God. They are human creations, and we should try to understand their essential natures. And that's where he gets this term, l'esprit des lois, the spirit of the laws. He identifies three basic kinds of government, each of which has its own sort of spirit, right? And we can just pull out our favorite one, a republic. So a republic is essentially based on what the people within it want, but it relies on the civic virtue of the people. And if you don't have enough people with civic virtue, your republic is going to fall probably to a monarchy where they don't rely on the civic virtue of the people. As Montesquieu tells us, it relies on people who are lusting after honor. These are societies in which, men are swashbuckling, feather-wearing aristocrats, and they don't care anything about civic virtue. They just want glory and honor. And that's why they work so well, in a way, because they don't really ask a lot of us to dig deep and give. They allow us to be preening aristocrats. So Montesquieu gives to someone like Jefferson a typology of governments, and to say government is not some mysterious thing out there that we can't understand. We can be social scientists. We can think actually of Montesquieu as the first social scientist, and we can identify different types of governments, and we can understand what fundamentally makes each of them tick. What is the spirit of the laws in each of these forms of governments? Once we have mastered that, we can then turn to our own governments and the governments around us in the world and say, aha, I know now what I need to do, and I know what you need to do. And suddenly the world just becomes a much clearer place to understand. We have a discipline today, political science, that does that for us. It looks around the world and says, oh yes, each government has its own types. But political science was actually invented in the 18th century by people like Montesquieu, and actually especially in the Federalist Papers, where they coined the term a science of politics. But Montesquieu gives to Jefferson this tool of a typology of governments that he can understand.